Right now, telescopes are scanning distant galaxies, robots are cruising across Mars, and the satellites orbiting Earth are sending back data every second. You might not notice it, but space science is happening all around us. And the universe? It doesn't wait. Stars explode, black holes collide, new planets are discovered, sometimes before you've even finished your breakfast. The universe is always changing, and we're always building new technology to find out more. So how do you keep track of something that never hits pause? That's what we're exploring in today's lesson. Before we dive in, I've got a friend who's here to share some recent developments in astronomy. Then we'll learn how to keep up with the latest space science without needing a PhD.
Hey, Bee here, and I've got some exciting current events to share with you about space exploration. As of early 2025, some of the most exciting updates in space science aren't about what we've found, they're about how we're finding it. New game-changing technologies are setting the stage for the future of space exploration. First up, sample return missions. NASA's Perseverance rover is exploring Mars, and it's doing way more than just snapping photos. It's picking out rock and soil samples and sealing them in tubes so a future mission can bring them back to Earth. It's a long-term plan. If it works, we'll eventually hold real pieces of Mars for the first time. Next up, the rise of artificial intelligence and autonomous robotics. AI already helps researchers sort through mountains of space data, like spotting details in telescope images or patterns in starlight. AI is being tested to help rovers make quick decisions on their own, like choosing which rocks to investigate or how to navigate tricky terrain without waiting for commands from Earth. Basically, giving space robots just enough brains to say, "Ooh, that rock looks interesting." Out in deep space, where signals take a long time to travel, this kind of autonomy could be essential. And let's talk about rockets, specifically reusable ones. Companies are developing new massive rockets designed to be launched, landed, and flown again. Why does that matter? Because launching anything into space is expensive, and reusable rockets could make it way cheaper. That makes space more accessible for science, exploration, and even education. If these rockets prove reliable, they could play a huge role in future missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. They're tools that could help the next generation of scientists, engineers, and maybe even you go farther than ever before. And these are only a few of the breakthroughs out there, helping us explore places we couldn't reach before, ask better questions, and discover things we didn't even know we were looking for. It's an amazing time to be watching the universe unfold. So, if this is what's happening right now, how do you find out about it? Caroline's got some tips on how you can stay in the loop.
With so much happening in space science, how do you keep up? The good news is, you don't need a telescope or a lab coat. You just need to know where to look and how to tell what's worth your attention. NASA's official website is a great place to start. It's packed with mission updates, articles, videos, and even interactive tools where you can explore real mission data. But what about other sources like news articles, social media posts, or science blogs? Some are awesome, but sometimes they can get the facts wrong. Have you ever seen something and wondered, is that true? It can be hard to tell. That's why it helps to have a quick checklist to spot trustworthy sources. I like using the space test. It can help you decide whether what you're reading is trustworthy, And it works for any topic you're researching, not just space-related ones. Let's break it down. S is for source. Ask yourself, who's sharing this information? Is it reliable? Let's say you read information in a research article from NASA. However, you find contradicting information in a random person's blog. Which source is more trustworthy? I choose NASA's article for my information. I know they're a reliable source of information for space news. P is for purpose. Why was it posted? Is it trying to inform you or get clicks? If it sounds like clickbait, it probably is. A is for accuracy. Does it explain the science clearly? Imagine you find a post saying, NASA discovered aliens but isn't telling anyone. But it doesn't link to any study, quote any scientists, or give details about how they know. Do you trust it? Nope. Real science gives clear, testable explanations, not just shocking headlines. C is for current. Space science moves fast. Check the date. Exciting news from 5 years ago might be old news now. And E is for evidence. Reliable science always has evidence to back it up. If there is no evidence, it might just be someone's opinion dressed up to look like science. So that's the space test. If the story checks all 5 boxes, you're probably in good shape. If not, it's worth digging a little deeper or checking a second source. Okay, let's test your skills. Imagine you see this headline. NASA confirms time travel is real. The article looks flashy, lots of sciencey words, colorful graphs, and a link to a personal webpage. Then you see a second headline. NASA publishes new research on time dilation in space. This one links to an official NASA webpage, includes quotes from real physicists, and references a peer-reviewed journal. Which article would you trust more? Even if it seems obvious, it's a good idea to go through each step of the space test so you can explain why it's trustworthy, not just guess. We need evidence to back up our claims. Pause the video and walk through the space test to explain why you trust or don't trust each article. If you need it, there's a reference sheet in your lesson activities that covers the space test in more detail. We'd need to dig deeper to evaluate accuracy or evidence, but the other criteria, we can assess them already. Source. One is a random website, the other is NASA's official website. Purpose. One seems designed to shock or entertain, the other aims to inform. Current. Even if they are both recent, a discovery as big as time travel wouldn't be buried on one blog. The time travel article is full of red flags. I wouldn't trust it. But the other one? I already sent it to 3 of my friends so we can talk about it. But don't let stuff like this stop you from learning. Stay curious. If you find a topic that interests you, like Mars missions, new rockets, or AI in space, search for it on NASA's site or look up recent articles from science organizations and universities. The more questions you ask, the better discoveries you'll make. So now that you know how to stay updated, what if you want to do more than just read about space? What if you actually want to join in? Let's check out how you can jump into the space science world. You might be surprised, but you can contribute to space science. One of the easiest ways to start is through citizen science. These are projects where anyone, including students, help scientists with real research. You can find them on NASA's Citizen Science page. You might help classify galaxies, track solar storms, or even help find new planets by analyzing telescope data. Some projects take only a few minutes, while others can turn into a long-term hobby. You can also look around your community. Is there a local science museum, observatory, or planetarium nearby? Many offer volunteer programs, internships, or special events where you can learn more and meet people working in space-related careers. No place like that near you? No worries. You can find virtual events and live streams instead. NASA, space centers, and universities often host free talks, telescope viewings, and interviews with scientists and engineers. And if you're curious about space careers, now's the time to start exploring. Not everyone in space science is an astronaut. There are engineers, data scientists, mission planners, geologists, and even science communicators, people who help explain science to the public. If you love solving problems, working with tech, asking big questions, or telling great stories, there's a role for you. You don't have to know your career path yet. Just start exploring what's out there. Ask questions. Get involved. And that starts with curiosity right here on Earth. The universe doesn't pause, and neither does your potential to discover. Thanks for joining us today. Until next time, stay curious.
Hey!